Oh, I still have rhubarb, yay.
I'm gonna save those for my end of days food supply. I've got a seed problem.
Happy garden season. Welcome to my little homestead on the internet. If you are new here, my name is Katie and this channel is Rouse Rising. Today I am sharing with you the start of my 2022 garden season. And for the start, we are planting seeds and growing them inside. It is still winter and cold outside. We can't get much started out there, but I'm gonna start a few things in the garden later on in this video. But right now I'm gonna show you this grow light that I purchased so that I can sprout my seeds. It sprouts seeds in less than a week. It's worked really well for me so far. I'm also going to be using it in the wintertime to sprout broccoli and different things like that so that my family can have fresh plants in the winter. I will link this down below for you. Now let's get our hands in the dirt.
Okay, so right now I'm just going through my huge bag of seeds here. So if you know how to store seeds, I've just kept them dry. And I don't know if there's like something special you have to do, but I've kept them dry and I don't know how long seeds last. They all have expiration dates on them, so I'm definitely concerned that I have missed the expiration. So I'm just seeing when to sow outside, when to start inside. Average frost date. So I definitely want some echinacea. I want some borage. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sow some of these things outside. Poppies. I need to start those. I'm already late. Recommended for short season areas. Yep, that's me. And so this is cantaloupe, borage. So these are things I'm gonna narrow it down to just what's the food. The carrots, so we're gonna hold off on carrots and sow those outside. Kale, we can recommended to start inside, so we'll start those inside. But you know what? There's barrels in my strawberry patch, so I throw the kale and the spinach and stuff in those. And then these we just sow outside. So those are all outside ones that I don't need to start right now. You know, I want cabbage for sauerkraut, chamomile for tea, echinacea for tea and tinctures, borage for salves and things, and food. So I'm gonna have a bit of a medicinal garden. I should probably have like a file system or like a file box that I put all these in, and I have them by alphabetical order because right now they're just all kinds of mixed up. And I have so many, I keep buying seeds. I've got a seed problem. Pumpkins, plant in full sun. Are these plant in full sun? When to start inside. So we want to start some cucumbers inside. And these are start inside, Walla Walla onions, wheatgrass. So I can do this so indoors any time of year. I'm gonna save those for my end of days food supply. And then we have more Clemson okra. I don't know that okra really grew that well here. I have a bunch of wildflower garden ones in clover crop because I'm going to be planting these up in the pig pen area. I need to check and see if clover is safe. I don't think clover is safe for livestock. I need to double check on that. But I also got it to plant in areas of our yard because the clover is so nice and it grows really well in our yard, and I want that to kind of replace some of the bald grass areas. The clover is good for bees.
One last sort through, but I think I've sorted these seeds 3 or 4 times now, but I'm down to my plan. I know what I'm gonna do. I know what I'm planting. So next step is to get all these seeds into the dirt, watered, and set up underneath of this light so that they will grow. And I hope that they grow. We'll see how well this works and if I even can get a garden started at all this year. It is recommended to soak your beans overnight prior to planting them, or soak them for 12 hours or a day. I purchased this hydroponic system from Home Depot. It was about $20 for this tray, all the vessels that go inside, and it came with a clear plastic lid to trap in the moisture. I'm filling it up with some potting soil. This tray is the same length, as the light up above. I'm going to prop it up on some boxes so that it is the correct distance from the light so we can get these seeds sprouting. Once I get all the dirt spread around in there, I am writing with a fine tip marker exactly what is going to go in each row for my seeds starting. And this is happening now prior to adding any water, so that way I can actually get this marker to dry on there. We're going to add the seeds, and I am adding 1 type of seed per row. I'm also going to be doing 2 rows of each type of bean and cabbage because I want to make sure I have enough beans and enough cabbage for food supply this year. I'm going to be canning a lot of beans, and hopefully, I'm hopeful that I am, as well as making a load of sauerkraut. We love eating sauerkraut in this house, and that's one way that we can preserve our garden harvest is with lacto fermentation. You can lacto ferment your cabbages, your carrots, well, really anything, your okra, anything that grows, you can lacto ferment. And it's a wonderful way of preserving your food for longer term without actually canning it or doing anything to make it shelf stable that way. If you have a cool, dark room, you can keep your fermented foods in there, a root cellar in your refrigerator. That's what I do. So I'm hoping to have enough of a harvest this year to be able to lacto ferment plenty of food. Otherwise, we'll just harvest and eat what we harvest as we're harvesting it to nourish our bodies with the freshest produce that we have. Whatever we aren't eating, we will preserve for longer term. Going to pour some water on top. There's also some water in the bottom of this because it is a hydroponic system. I also started some seeds in these and propped the other up on a box. Right now I'm working on getting this asparagus into the ground. Just following the planting instructions on the back. It says go deep, see depth 6 inches, and then 1 foot in between. I've got round about that. And each one of these packages comes with 3 plants, and they were $3.98 a piece, so $1.30 something a piece. And what you do is you dig your hole really deep and you make it nice and loose in there, and then you want to spread out your roots from your asparagus plant down in there. And I'm not entirely sure which way this thing goes, but I might have to dig up the other ones. I don't know that they're going to be 100% happy. Stick it down in there like so, and cover it up. 2 inches of dirt. Move on to the next one. Spread out all the roots. Place them down in the hole. And cover up 2 inches of dirt. Recently, I purchased one of these graders, and this works amazing to dig down loamy trenches about 4 to 6 inches wide for my root systems to grow and for me to lay on top of this little trenched area my water hoses. I'm not really sure yet how I'm going to be watering this garden this year. I've got to figure out a watering system. I have a couple ideas in mind, but we'll just have to see what I come up with as time allows. So I'm just digging these trenches now for my vegetables that I'm going to be planting here. I think right here I'm going to be putting onions, and up above this you can see 2 more lines. I've already planted some rows of carrots. So right now I'm just going to rake out this nice and even and try to get any of the weeds that I rooted up or uprooted from this area. I'm going to pull those out and just get this nice and evened out so I can throw my onion seeds on top. And then once I have my onion seeds on top, I'm going to reevaluate this whole garden area and see what else I want to get planted today, what I have time to get planted today, because at the moment I just laid the baby down, so I can only do a little bit at a time here and there as he sleeps. Once I get the playpen and stuff set up out here, I'll be able to bring him out here to help me. But on this particular day, I'm only trying to get a couple of things done while he naps. If you want to see this garden grow, be sure you click subscribe and click that notification bell. Thanks so much. This is also the day before we leave for a camping trip, so I'm trying to get as much as I can get done in a short amount of time while giving these seeds. I know that there's going to be some precipitation, so the seeds are going to have some moisture. I also know that there's going to be some snow coming, so that snow is going to provide some moisture. Yes, it's a bit too early for me to be throwing seeds into the ground, but let's give it a shot. Also, I'm planning on doing some raised garden beds in this area. I'm thinking about using plastic kiddie pools. We are only here temporarily for the next 4 years, so we need a temporary setup, and I think plastic pools would be perfect for that, as well as wood costs right now are incredibly expensive. So I'm just trying to figure all this out. I also need to put a extension on the fence to keep the deer out. So these are all things that I'm keeping in mind as I am working in my garden today. Along this fence line, I am trenching so that I can plant sunflowers. They grew really well here in previous years. So we're doing sunflowers. We're also going to do a few pole bean plants so they can grow up the sunflowers. We'll see how they work together, if they work or not. If you know whether or not that works, let me know down in the comments. I'm also planting some pole beans with the corn. I've heard that that works really well, and I'll be planting some squash and things in that area too. So let me know your gardening ideas. What are your plans for your summertime garden? Are you planting things that you can? We have a short season, so I'm not doing tomatoes. I haven't had great success with tomatoes. So I'm going to give you a little garden tour. This is early season in the garden and what I have so far. I'm kind of winging it. I'm not a professional gardener by any means. We live in the Pacific Northwest along the edge of the Cascade Mountains near the high desert. So we don't get very much rain, but we are in the pine forest and it is the desert. So it's like a variety of things. Oh, and we're at above 4,000 feet above sea level. So yeah, let me show you guys what I have here. So right here in this corner, I have poppies, and then I have a whole row of basil. I don't know if either of those are gonna grow, but hey, I'm gonna try those out there. Down here, I've got lemon balm, and then all along this fencing here, I've planted sunflowers and pole beans, all right? Journeying up to the middle section of the garden, right here, we have carrots. Right here, we have onions, and then planted bush beans right there. Okay, so we've got carrots, onions, bush beans, and you can just kind of see where right behind my pine needle rows are my rows. Okay, and then I have nothing in this section right here yet. I might put swimming pools, kiddie pools with stuff in them. Okay, so then over here, this is all of my leafy stuff. So I've got spinach. I know it's spinach and Swiss chard, and then there's some kale and lettuce mix in the middle somewhere. Okay, so right here along the front of this gate or this fence, we've planted asparagus. Right over here is where I didn't plant enough garlic and I should have planted more. It was a trial and error thing. You see some eggshells, but I need to water. Actually, it just rained, so I don't need to water my garlic, but I have garlic along there. I have sunflowers from here all the way around there and all the way back down, the kind that you can get the seeds from. And then walking up here, you can see this is the garden. That's where my poppies are and my basil and my lemon balm. I think this section right here might be like my kitchen herbs section so that it's easy to get to while everything else grows. Up here in the very top section, I have a row of corn, and that's all I have up here so far. This section is usually like wildflowers and stuff that I'll throw down. I'm gonna plant a bunch of wildflowers over there and probably some like experimental wheat and stuff in the pen over there. We don't have any animals right now because we had some uncertainty in our life, and we still sort of do, so we don't have any animals at the moment, but I am attempting a vegetable garden. In this area where I'm standing right here is going to be more swimming pools, probably, possibly, or some of the plants that I have going inside. So a lot of the stuff I planted out here today, I don't have inside. Inside I have going cauliflower and cabbages and stuff. I might experiment and throw some cabbages back here, but, or maybe I'll make a little cabbage patch in this corner. Either way, I'm gonna throw some more seeds in and see what grows this early in the year. This is like April 6th right now. And I'm probably throwing some seeds in too early, but like I said, I'm experimenting. There was some rhubarb. Oh, look. Oh, I still have rhubarb. Yay. Got rhubarb there. Need to like clear these out so nobody steps on them. I've got rhubarb here. Thank goodness I didn't plant anything right here because I didn't see these earlier. I don't know how I missed them. But here we've got our little rhubarbs. My dear friend Patricia gave me. And I don't know, so these are rhubarbs right here, Riker. We do still have rhubarbs. And then I don't know if there's gonna be another one. It doesn't look like there's one here or there. So maybe I don't know if I can split up these rhubarbs now. Maybe I'll give that a try to transplant these or split these up. Looks like I've got quite a few plants. So if I dig it up and separate them out, maybe I can have some more rhubarb growing, I think. So maybe we'll do that right now. Okay, so I'm gonna break off some of these.
Maybe I can separate them out. Or are they all on the same one? They're all on like the same root system, it feels like.
So this is all on one solid root, and I'm just going to break it. This rhubarb is so resilient. It was given to me in a pot that she had split up from some of her plants, and I thought I killed it in the pots. I thought it died. I planted the roots, came back to life. I thought I killed it last year. This year it's back alive. So it is really a resilient, amazing plant to have in your garden if it grows in your area. We just walked in the door from being out of town and we already have growth. I cannot believe how fast these have sprouted. Oh my goodness. Well, made the mistake of being in a rush and I left my garden tools outside. So I'm gonna grab them because we're expecting more precipitation. And this was a big no-no. So there's the garden. It's under a nice bed of snow. There's my garlic poking up. So everything's looking beautiful out here. I'm just gonna put my tools in so they don't get destroyed. And yeah, happy garden season.